qualifications framework is a system that a country or a jurisdiction uses to explain what the major degrees mean in that country, what they're comprised of, how long they take to achieve usually, what levels of outcomes people can expect, so that if you have a bachelor or master degree, for example, from one part of the world, it can be translated for people in another part of the world. So it's, if you like, a little bit like an international driver's license, where we can look at a degree given in, say, France, and know what that means in a place like, say, Australia or the United States. Degrees that are picked up in international qualification frameworks are usually very large. We call them macro credentials because they're big, they take a lot of time, and they usually cost quite a bit of money. Now, the world is telling us, the working world is telling us, that they're still very good signals, but the working world is looking for smaller signals as well. So, for example, someone who actually has a bachelor's degree in a particular area will have learnt a lot of skills, maybe through experience in other areas where they don't hold an entire degree. So there is an interest and a hunger for smaller credentials, not necessarily qualifications in themselves, but that are markers or smaller signals that actually skills have been attained and things can be done by the bearer. So at Deakin University, we've designed some of these smaller credentials to be able to assess and warrant that the bearer has a skill at a higher level, which will stack up, in fact, to a larger macro credential or degree that aligns with one of those international qualifications frameworks. For many people studying around the world, particularly more mature and experienced people, it's very important that higher education institutions start from where the student is rather than us presuming that you don't know things. Because if you've been working, if you've been managing competing priorities, if you've been even raising a family, you've been acquiring skills that are not necessarily captured in a first degree or in any degree. So with the professional practice credentials, what we want to do is assess and warrant the skills that you've acquired through life experience, through work experience, so we can actually start you in a degree where you need to start rather than where we think you might need to start at the very beginning. So our use of credentials is also to help the student make the right starting point in a bigger degree. That's why we've aligned them to the major macro credentials or degrees in the international qualifications frameworks.